30. Well, okay, 29. Clarkson and Ingles have career nights as well. The Jazz blow out another team on the way to a win. We're talking about it coming up on Postcast. Hi, I'm David Locke. This is Postcast live for you after the ball games on Twitch, on Facebook, on YouTube, as well as on Periscope. It's Locked On Live on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Please follow, subscribe, do whatever you do, and also on Periscope at Locked On Sports. The Jazz beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight, 116-104. This game was not that close. The Jazz never trailed. They led 32-19 at the end of one. They go up by 21 at the half. They go up by 22 at the end of three. They led by 25, and they do it without Donovan Mitchell. They do it without Derek Favors tonight, and they do it behind a brilliant second quarter performance by Jordan Clarkson, where he had 15 points. They do it out of a brilliant performance by Joe Ingles, where he became 1-3 short of the Jazz franchise record, 8 threes in a game. And they also did it with Rudy Gobert having his biggest his third 2020 of his career and the most points he's ever scored while having a 20-20 in this ball game. Here's my take on this one. Dallas came out and decided we're not going to let the Jazz shoot threes. So the Jazz in the first quarter still are able to get up 10 threes in 25 shot attempts, but that's a little lower than the number they regularly want. In turn, Rudy Gobert ends up with 10 points and 4 rebounds. Then by halftime, Dallas continues to try the same strategy of we're going to hug to the shooters and have Rudy roll, and the Jazz take 20 of 49 shots and threes. So the Jazz are still getting 40% of their shots up as threes, while they're hugging to shooters, and the Jazz are getting Rudy Gobert at the basket. He finishes the first half with 20 points and 12 rebounds. The game plan the Jazz had tonight was so brilliant to counter what the Mavericks were doing. One was, okay, fine, we're just going to run Rudy in every pick and roll imaginable and make their bigs, Powell, Porzingis, if Boban had play defense in space. That's not what those guys do well. Porzingis is a big, long guy, but does not defend well in space. Powell, coming off his injury, doesn't defend well in space. Willie Cauley-Stein played limited, doesn't defend well in space. So I feel like the Jazz must have run 90 pick and rolls tonight with Rudy Gobert. So that's the first part of it. The Jazz is continually pounding and pounding and pounding that. Clarkson got free. And if you go under, they're going to step back and they're willingly going to shoot that three. So how do you deny the three? If they're not going under, now you're driving. Rudy's rolling. You got to commit. Ingles is laying it up. Clarkson's laying it up. And then on the defensive side, the Jazz did a really fabulous job of knowing their personnel. KYP, know your personnel. Dorian Finney-Smith is not a good shooter. Let him shoot. He goes 1 for 7 from 3. Hardaway is. Try to take that away. He only goes 3 for 4. He finishes the night 4 for 6 from 3. Porzingis, Doncic not shooting well. If you're going to have to give him up, let Doncic shoot him a little bit without getting in a rhythm. He goes 2 of 7. Porzingis goes 2 of 7. Probably is, not shots you necessarily want, but he's only making 33%. So that you saw the Jazz really close out to some guys, lay off other guys. There was a great play in the first half where Dallas started moving the ball beautifully, driving, kicking, and then all of a sudden the Jazz would close, but on certain guys they closed differently than others, and it disrupted their entire offense. So brilliant game plan, beautifully set up, beautifully executed by the Jazz in really what was not a close basketball game at all, despite who the Jazz were missing. Fun alley-oops to Royce O'Neal were highlights of the night as well. And the Jazz got, Morgan and Oni had to play, and they did fine. They didn't really do much. They both played 10 minutes. Neither of them scored, but they both played fine. That group kind of ran around and added a lot of energy, and that's probably what you want out of that. And as the time goes on, we're going to need more of that. So that's my take on this one. It's 10 straight. They just keep getting more impressive every night. They got the best record in the NBA right now. And it feels really legit. At this point, it's going to have to be a Clipper-Laker. I don't know. We've already beat the Clippers, already beat the Bucks. So you got the Lakers, maybe the 76ers, maybe the Clippers again. I don't know what it is now that we need to try to prove to ourselves that we have to do to prove to ourselves this is super legit, because they're just blowing people out. They've won 9 of 10. They won 9 of the 10 by double digits. They've had 10 corner threes, which means you're executing your offense and getting what you want in every single one of the games. They're just absolutely dominating people right now. So I don't know what else to say about the number one question is, are they that good? Yes. By the end of the night, they shot 39% from 3. Okay, we shot our average. Took 41 of them by the end of the night. We went 2 of 12 in the fourth quarter, which slowed it down. Let's go to Bill Hendrick. Let's get the various calls or thoughts coming in. Do you think the play and the diving 50-50 balls will be more contagious as the season goes on as people buy in more and more? I mean, we got every loose ball there for a while. Other teams are going to get loose balls. Those guys are a little tired. They're coming off a lot of health and protocol. They're playing at altitude. It's a pretty bad script for a bunch of those guys to come back and play their first game back in altitude. Dallas is going to get better and better and better. Dallas is, I think, now 9-9 on the season, or 8-10 on the season. They're not an 8-10 team. That's a better team, but they did lose shooting. The Josh Richardson, Seth Curry trade, they went and gave up Seth Curry, who's the best three-point shooter in the league, for a more athletic defender to help out Luka, but he can't shoot very well. And he can't shoot like Seth Curry. Seth Curry's the best shooter in the league. So I don't know about that trade as time goes on. At the time, I thought it was brilliant. They get Josh Richardson. He seemed like the best player in the trade, but Josh Richardson's had a funky career. He was okay in Miami, not good in Philly. Seems okay in Dallas. But he's not putting a fear of you at all into his shooting and what he's doing. Let's go to Benjamin. He says so many weapons. I mean, when you're doing what we did last night with Donovan off between Mike and doing what you did tonight between Clarkson, you can grab it. This is just like me hanging out. You can do whatever you need to do, except for I don't have a mask on, so just be aware of that. I can throw one on, though, if you want me to. While you're inside 6 feet, we will follow the protocol here for a second. Sorry, everybody. Give me a second. Hey, my pizza mask is not going on. Who thought it was so hard to put on a mask? Maybe if I had just done it like that the whole time, it would have been all right. All right, I'll get that. I put it on upside down, too. Someone asked Shaq how many points Rudy had tonight. No, don't, because then you're playing the game of buying into that actually is the right answer for Shaq. Bill says, great radio call. That's good, because I wasn't distracted today at all. Josh, our team's shooting better this year because of empty gyms? That's a great question, Josh. I don't know the answer. I'd rather not waste the time to look it up right now, but if you listen to Locked On Jazz tomorrow, I will look that up for you. Holy cow, says Craig. The Jazz looked awesome. The bigger starting lineup looked good. Ingles in for Donovan. I've always, it's an option, right? We get big fast. When you take Donovan or Mike off the floor and replace it with Joe Ingles, we get big. We get bigger pretty quickly. And we still can play Derek at some point in time. When Rudy went out at the end of the first, our defense with a small lineup was outstanding. It was. They played great. They flew around the gym. They had super energy. Juwan Morgan plays the game right. That's why the coaches like him so much. He does a lot of those things really, really well. And does a great job. Steve, I got your message. Thank you very much. Andy, I think if you put Geiger counter next to Joe and Jordan, it would crackle. I don't know that joke, but Andy's usually funny. Porzingis was absolutely exposed in the pick and roll tonight. Yeah, no, the Jazz made their bigs play in space, and they exposed that considerably. And the Jazz did a great job at it. I love the defensive scheme on Luka. Seemed like he was seeing three defenders. What they did is to start the game, I think they had Gobert guard Finney Smith. Bogdanovich was on Porzingis so that Rudy could hover around the rim, and then every single time you saw the Luka drive, he curled out because he didn't want to be a part of Rudy. And he also didn't really want to throw it back to Finney Smith. Raymond says the Jazz played like a well-oiled Hyundai Santa Fe. Thanks for the sponsor reference. Appreciate that. What makes Jordan Clarkson so effective on this Jazz team that his previous teams he hasn't been on? He's been brilliant. Freedom, maybe. Maybe just as simple as freedom, in the sense that the Jazz coaching staff has given him freedom, given him the ability to go shoot. I talked to him about that the other day, and have done that. Jazz just have 9-man rotation. We need another one. Why? Why do we need another one? I don't think we do. All right, I'm getting a call from someone. I got to take the call, so that's wrapping us up. Have a good one. See you. Damn.